Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Little bit late here. We apologize for that, guys. Okay, just a technical difficulty. As you know, it happens when we all are one man, two man, three man show. I'm sure the rest of the team will be joining us shortly here. But another great night to just kind of bring some information and just talk. The title for this show tonight is "Where Do We Go From Here?"
Yeah.
And that takes on a lot, and I'm gonna say a lot, because with this new person that's going to be the president, in the less than 60 days, and I guess it was before that, that time, I'm sorry, I know I'm sounding like I'm all over the place, but I'm just like, I don't even want
to discuss it.
I don't want to I'm kind of like Whoopi Goldberg. This is, let me put it this way. I'm kind of like Whoopi Goldberg because I really don't. I'm trying my best not to even say the man's name anymore. Okay, I know it's going to be a really hard thing necessarily to do that from time to time because, so much rhetoric is coming out since his, whatever. Okay. And it's so much that's being pushed in the American, face. I mean, we're just being pushed. I mean, you got pedophiles that are going to be in his camp. You got all these people with all these kind of issues, and then let me just say this for the evangelical community. We're going to deal with our topics from point by point. Why did y'all do this? Why did y'all do this? Why did y'all lie to the American people like you did? But I'm going to dig into that a little bit tonight too, because y'all lied. Y'all lied and still lying at the end of the day. So it's okay. Well, let me stop. Let's go on. Let's say, how you doing tonight, babe? Because I don't want to seem like I'm all over the place tonight, guys, but I'm just kind of disappointed in America. But go ahead.
Well, I'm disappointed too, but I'm fine. Another day in paradise.
Ooh.
To be honest with you, it's at the end of the day, life goes on.
Yes.
But to be honest with you, there is this air of disappointment because, honestly, like I said in the last show, I wish I didn't know anything. I wish I was just cavalier about life and not wanting to be in the know of what is going to happen or what it is set to happen.
Right.
But the saddest thing about it is, about this situation, is there's too many people in this country that don't want to know.
Right.
And it's kind of funny for me to even want to say this, but there are a lot of us Americans who think this is just business as usual, and that things are just going to keep going the way they've been going.
Right.
But they have failed to realize that, and this is another thing, that this experiment we call democracy in this country or any country is the most fragile experiment for any government.
Right.
Because these types of governments do not last as long as you would like for them to last. Because you have people who have conditioned themselves to wanting an autocrat.
And
that is the truth.
I'm keep expounding, but I'm just wondering, America, why do you want to be under the autocratic system or a system that you have?
Because they want instant results.
But let me say this. Keep your point.
Basically.
You're not going to get instant results. The only instant result that you'll end up happening is that somebody will declare martial law at any given time and expect every military force, police, and everything to govern everything that goes on in the streets. So your home is going to be subject, to be searched at any given time because it will be the law of the land, and guess what? You'll have to have an orange Cheeto bag placed up on your wall and paying reverence. Basically, you kind of bowing down to it, like to do what Kim Jim Puka Tuga Duga.
Well, that's what they voted for.
But this is what you guys voted for. Now, I know some of y'all have voted in thinking that your economic situation was going to get better. You wanted to blame President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for the state of the economy. But let me help y'all understand. Okay, and I'm saying this deeply. Understand. We went to 2 years of COVID. Okay, did you forget that your opportunities that you benefited from during COVID had to be paid for. Like, can you repeat
But
that
you
for me?
know what, to be
Well,
honest
no,
with you, I hear
uh,
what you're saying,
right.
but truth behind the truth,
Right.
this is the thing. As
Uh-huh.
Americans,
Uh-huh.
that's old news. That's old news. The COVID is bypassed. It's old.
But
it's
the bill,
on
the
with-
bill was still out there.
Well, you know, it's on with the new.
Uh-huh.
There's the one thing about this country that I always tend to, it just gets under my skin, is the fact that a lot of people do not care what has happened in whatever bygone years. They don't never think back or look back. It's the fact that what's happening now
Uh-huh.
is this country's culture.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't care about what happened in the past. I don't care about who affected or who did what and what all. No, what's going on right now is my issue. And my thing is, you have to understand what has happened in the past
Uh-huh.
has caused a situation right now in
Uh-huh.
front of us. And the fact that, yes, COVID did come, it uprooted a lot of things within our economics, within our politics, within our everyday life.
Uh-huh.
You know, people did not take stock. Like, we had our show during that time. We started Truth Behind the Truth during that time. And we were telling people during that time period to take stock of what was going on while they were being held at home. Start taking down notes of what it is that is important in this time. And a lot of people didn't do that. A lot of people sat there and complained about things that were going on, about the fact that they were having to stay at home all day and go out and do what they wanted to do. And you know what? The sad thing about now is the fact that these same good people are still complaining. But they're complaining about the fact that then, during that time, while they were getting these stimmy checks, as they would like to call it, that they forgot that money was taxpayers' money. And that after the fact, after everything like COVID was to disperse or be eradicated, things were going to go back to normal, we were going to have to pay that shit back. And that's what people tend to forget. Go ahead.
So you know, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
How could you? Well, okay, there was a lot to unpack right there.
It was a lot, but yeah.
I'm trying to narrow it down to a little bit specific.
Hey, Darnell, how you
doing? We're basically talking about, it's titled the night show. Where do we go from here? But we're just framing it, around, of course, coming out of this administration. I won't say new administration. This administration is about hopefully, not hopefully, going to come over. Because I'm at the point now that I'm just not even acknowledged. I'm going to be whooping over for the next 4 years. Okay, I'm gonna take her more. I'm just going to not mention the name because it's what the results that we are all seeing right now, and these appointed people that are being appointed to this man's cabinet or office set or whatever, and I'm trying to find words to utilize or give him any, opportunity in this. I know it's hard, but it's been my place because, I'm just disgusted at the decision that people have made and not clearly looking. Okay, to my understanding, and then I'm sure, Charles, you can agree with that, and Darnell as well, is that the majority of people voted for that person simply because they thought that there was going to be this huge economic sweep on their behalf. So it's like they're expecting this man literally to come down their street, wherever they live in the course of America, the fields of Iowa and everything else, to be handing out another stimulus check or you get a check in the mail. Wake the hell up, y'all. That's not about to happen. Okay. And your recovery, okay, is what you think that you lost over the past 3 years is not going to happen. I want you to be clear. Okay, understand it's not going to happen. Now, you can still live in this fantasy, and Darnell, you can really, profoundly speak on this because of the position you work in everyday life. Charles, I'm sure you definitely can. So we're going to open it up just for a second. But for you to think literally that this is going to happen to you, that your whole tax platform is going to change, because like I said on the show 2 weeks ago, if you didn't have a damn business beforehand, you ain't going to have no business right now. Okay, and it's not just this miracle going to happen all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, I can walk up to my shop and go ahead and I've got this, or I can walk into a bank and get the money that I couldn't get because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden didn't set it up for me to be able to get it. Okay, I'm gonna set up for the moment. Darnell, you take it right. Well, how are you doing tonight, sir? So
I'm wonderful, but
good.
With this whole thing, right now, I tell people that we really got to sit back and really focus and zip our lips a little bit, and watch, because this is a ploy. This whole thing is a ploy, and this is a factor of this is the playing. They switched the game from playing chess to playing poker. So that's what's going on right now.
Okay.
So with everything that's going on, what they're doing is this. They allowed him to be able to put all these corrupt ass people in position because they're going to get ready to do a supermarket sweep. That's all they're doing. They're drawing out all of the wrong people in these places so they can turn around and get rid of them, or whatever the case may be. Because you better believe, or whatever the case may be, that therefore we are dealing with people who are smarter than the average bear. Right. And see, all the people who sit back and talking and they're doubting people, they're going to be the ones who's going to be sitting back after a while, be like, damn, I really owe this individual an apology because I started and I put my mouth on this situation when I shouldn't have put my mouth on it.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, adjust your camera because you're cutting your head off way up at the top here. Adjust the camera a little bit. Go ahead, Charles.
You're on mute, Charles.
You're muted, Charles. You're muted, bro.
Even his own people and the Republicans, even Elon Musk say that what he's about to do is going to crash the economy, and we're going to have to rebuild it. So I'm trying to figure out what does that make? I had to delete, unfollow, unfriend, man, at least 13, 14 people this week. You know, and they come to me with that nonsense about Democrats ain't done nothing for us. I still don't understand what Trump's going to do for you, and you already know he won't. So I'm trying to figure out how that was to our advantage. And then I'm also lost in the fact that everybody he's putting in cabinet are people that were under investigation for doing wrong. You put somebody in front of the EPA, it's already the person being in the EPA is already charged with I think it's pollution and something else. So if you're putting in these criminals to run these organizations that were already for our benefit, when Michelle Obama said we need to change our diet, they had a fit. I'm gonna eat my fries. Don't tell me what to do. How you gonna put JFK in there, a guy who don't believe in nothing, and has all these wrong conspiracy theories that have been proven wrong to come in and take over the health of our country? Come on, man. And I can't say nobody's agreeing with that.
You know what? And Charles, I hear you, but you know what? I'm as much as I'm disappointed. There's this thing. I feel like I'm a little relieved to the fact that this man is testing his own party to see how far they will allow him to go, because nobody has stood up yet. And I'm telling people this is dangerous. This is very dangerous, because when you have not one person saying, wait a minute now, you're going too far, you're now setting the grounds for dictatorship. And you know, Biden and the Democrats, you know, what
I'm telling you, you're gonna sit back to the last laugh is gonna be on them, Trump, darling. I'm just letting you know. The last is y'all. You're sitting thinking that they ain't doing nothing, but the laugh is gonna be on this. Don't be the person who have to laugh after the laugh now.
Yeah, but you know what, darling, I want to be as hopeful, and I will go with that hypothesis. There might be an idea. There might be something that's going to happen. But my thing is, why did y'all allow this to go as far as it did? This man shouldn't have been running anyway. You had Merrick Garland sitting there on his, wait a minute now, you had Merrick Garland sitting on his hands, not moving fast enough to do what he needed to do as Attorney General. Now he's gonna put this cocaine sniffing man in his place, who ain't gonna do nothing but look over his own files of sex trafficking and do what Merrick Garland should have been doing for the longest, just erasing and doing what his job. Now I'm just saying, and I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna let you speak, Darnell. But the Democrats just have bad PR. They always have bad PR, and they're always taking the higher ground. I wanted Biden to get his ass up out that chair and say,
say it, give me high five.
I wanted Biden to get his ass up out that chair and say, hell no, I'm not just gonna just let this go peacefully. Right. You set up all that time and told everybody that I stole those damn votes. And I'm telling you, when Biden sat there and he gave that man that simple handshake, I said, you know what, I'm done. But at the end of the day, it was to be expected. The Democrats.
But let me give you the other side of the coin. See, because we always see things from one side of the coin. You see that from what your perspective of what you're seeing at that moment. But you also have to look at it as this. This man is showing him one that therefore you think that you have won. I'm going to show you that we know how to do things peacefully, but get the job done, because that's the key. You never can get a solution with a maniac. Meeting them where they at. You're never gonna get a solution. You're never gonna think, because guess what? What they're doing is this: they're putting things in position where we don't have a de-escalation, because this country can't take a de-escalation.
No, you're right. You're right.
So why would you turn around and fuel the fire of an idiot?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Go ahead, Charles. You're right.
I'm like I am when he won the first time. I hope for the best, but I really see the worst. But just like he came in with Obama's economy and claimed it was his when he didn't do diddly squat, ran the country into a hole. Biden came in, dug it out of a hole again, put it back on top. He's gonna walk in the door with another great economy, and he's gonna ruin that one just like he did the last one. Except for this time, he's got the people and the politicians to turn the system upside down to whereas it's gonna be pretty much like an oligarch. He's going to be just like Putin. Him and his boys are going to run this place just like Putin and his boys do. They're in charge of everything. They're going to set the rules up so that when he leaves, they can do whatever they want to do. And it's going to be hard to have a Democrat lead the country again. And even if they do, the rules are so hard. It takes years to change things. They don't change overnight. He's going to fill a court system full of all these loyalists he got. That's going to make it even worse. And the crazy part about it, I don't understand how a black person can vote for a man who already said that he's going to get a complete immunity when they're already killing us with this and they're going to go and do worse.
It didn't matter. What mattered was black people at this point in time was so tired of being looked over. We were and this is so funny. Black people been so tired that they start pointing fingers at the LGBTQIA plus. We started pointing fingers at them because we thought, well, they're taking all of the rights that we've been arguing and begging for. They're giving it to them instead of us. So they became enemy number one and our focus instead of the people who were running the situation. And I blame the NAACP and I blame who? I blame the NAACP and I blame the Black Caucus. Because at the end of the day, what's going to have to happen now is that now that there are no white, no, let me take that back. There's no black people now in those seats anymore. That is now the Trump's cabinet. Where's the representation?
Wow. Okay, we're losing sight because I know you all don't like the NAACP and you don't like the SCLC. I know you don't like the Black Caucus. So let's get the truth out there before we start convoluting it. The truth is, black folks in large numbers did their vote. Black men didn't vote. That was just a little misnomer to make us mad at each other. The few blacks that did vote, dumbasses, were the ones. We said 70% of black men voted for Democrat. 90% down there was black women. So we didn't vote for Trump. We had the small little pockets that did. So it's not like we were upset with the Democrats. It's true. They were. I'd rather have somebody who don't do nothing than somebody who's gonna go in there and blow the whole place up. I don't understand where that logic comes in where black folks, we voted for Biden in large numbers with us, but we're only 12 to 13% of the population, or rather the voting block. So it's not like we're gonna make a big difference. Those Latino men came in there, white people, period, voted for Trump. 70% women, 90% white men. They are over 60% of the voting block. So no matter where we go, it doesn't matter. They're going to take over the whole voting block, and it goes the way the white people wanted to go.
But you know what?
Didn't want the black woman in charge.
What was funny though, Charles, is that the factor is that they stated from after they get finished with the factor of everything they got to do, they say it ain't the woman. It's not the woman. That's why they keep telling people, sit back and watch. You're gonna see as time progresses. So that's why you don't see a lot of bloggers even covering it right now, because there's nothing to cover. Because therefore you listen, these people, number one, the electoral college hadn't even voted yet. So you can't even say the man is even president.
Right. Yep. They had an app going out before the votes were counted that said Trump won. I'm still trying to figure out if we'd have done that then, they'd had a fit.
The motherfucking house and got all of his stuff out there and showed the fact of everything that everybody was stating. That's why they did a mass recount on all of the battleground states.
That's why Trump said you don't even have to vote for me. He's got something up his sleeve. He was manipulating things. People taking it. See, this is my problem with the Democrats. Everybody's laying back. Well, he lost. No, investigate. Find out what's going on. Don't just, we're going to do a peaceful transition like it should be. That's why we're always in the predicament we're in. We're always praying. We're always on our knees. We're always trying to do all this nonsense that don't make a difference. Prayer without work means what? Don't mean
heard what she said, though, Charles. The woman just stated the fact is, she said, I'm letting you guys know that I am getting ready to prosecute the biggest case of my career and the history of the United States of America. Wow. That man, when he sat there in that White House, I'm telling you, he sat there in that White House and he came to make a deal. He didn't come to that motherfucker for a peaceful transition. He came there for the factory to make a deal to say, I will put everybody that you need in place to get rid of them so I can turn around and go off in the sunset.
Wow.
Because I know I ain't going to make it in here.
Wow. I sure hope that you're...
When you are part of this,
right.
You're part of this right here.
Right, yeah.
You know what's going on. You know what's the difference between handshakes. You know what's the difference between body language. They teach us all this stuff.
Right.
That's all they want.
Be hopeful. I mean, at the end of the day, let's just be hopeful that will happen.
Right.
But in the scheme of it, it is a lot of this rhetoric going around saying, well, you know, Biden just need to concede and let's go into the sunset peacefully and all this other stuff. And in my mind, I'm saying this is crazy talk. This is crazy talk right here. Because at the end of the day, we know that this man ain't no good. But go ahead.
Let's get ready. I don't know, Charles, if you're ready to do a commercial, you want me to hit it.
I can't do them. You have control of that.
All right. So we're just going to do one commercial. We'll quick commercial break. We'll be right back to finish the discussion. All right, we'll be right back with you guys.
If you need a pickup car, if you need a dumpster or demolition car, call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning to the Truth Behind the Truth, because we're getting to the truth. Okay, you know, you have the opportunity as our wonderful and faithful audience, those that tune in either every Saturday night or throughout the week or whenever you take the time to watch the Truth Behind the Truth. This is a show that has been in its 5th season a platform to help keep you educated on what you should know to make a better decision for your life. Okay. Please, you know, share these shows, share the conversation. Okay, it may be uncomfortable for you to deal with it. Okay, and
we've been
perspective,
talking.
We've been talking. You know, I'm sorry. We have been saying this. Charles, you know, and Darnell joined us last year, but Charles, although we have been saying this very stuff for the past 3 years.
Well, let me say this.
Okay, well,
I'm going to say this though.
Okay.
The title of this show is "Where Do We Go From This?"
Here, no, from here.
Okay, say that one more time.
Where do we go from here?
Okay, I just want to say that where we go, bullshit has now become a luxury. Talking BS
norm.
is now a luxury right now. And I'm saying this to be honest. At this point in the game, anything that is not of any importance is now bullshit. And that comes from anything that's just random, from celebrity to music and all that. It's great that we have those conversations as well, but right now, what's going on up there in Washington and what that is going to be, that's going to have to be the most important conversation that we're going to have. Because when they're talking about blowing up the Department of Education, do y'all know what that means? That means leaving those children that cannot even afford private schools or any type of charter education, that's leaving them out in the wind. And the fact is making the whole type of, is making the country itself dumb to the point that we don't know how the system is running. I'm just saying, BS, I'm just saying, anything that is a bullshit is now a luxury right now.
I can't say it any better. I mean, in and of
it's a luxury.
Right, but back to what I was saying, and the educational piece that we have tried to put out. But I won't street what we're doing. We're not trying. We've already done it, and we're doing it, and we're going to continue to do it. But the continuation is this. My hope for everyone that's involved, whatever side of the coin that you flip on, at the end of the day, that you wake up. Okay, please wake up, people. Please wake up. And if you could just write the show, please send an email. All right, to ttbtshow@gmail.com and explain why you are in the position of thought pattern that you are. Okay, but believe you me, and again, I'm going to bring back to Darnell to bring this to them from an economic standpoint of view. Economic situations don't change overnight. And I don't know why.
It takes years.
It does. Now it can be changed overnight. Hold on. It can be changed overnight because guess what? If the dollar fell overnight, it can be changed overnight, and your ass will be broke overnight. If the computer that monitors money went off the blink, you can be broken overnight. And let me say this real quick, and Darnell can break this up, and I'm gonna let him get on this point. See, you guys fail to realize, okay, and this is all you positions of wealth, whatever. You don't have money. You have no money. Believe me, you have no money. The paper you spin around, it's a promissory note. I talked about this 3 years ago. You remember I talked about it, right, Charles? 3 years ago. I gave you an education on what money was or what you think money is. It's a promissory note that continues to get passed around. Okay? In your passing that promissory note around, you do not have money. Okay, if the computer system that keeps the log of your bank account, if it went off the blink, if it just went away, somebody blew it up, guess what? Your ass is broke. Okay, you do not have money. Now, the only reason you have wealth is that if you have it in property, gold, and property and gold, and that's it. The silver ain't worth down right now. If you don't own any of that, okay, you don't have money. Understand, you don't have money. I'm gonna say it one more time. You don't have money.
Go ahead,
all right?
Darnell.
Please go ahead, Darnell.
So you know what's crazy? If in fact the things did go in that other direction for the normal person, I tell them they're trying to push all the people to digital, completely digital. Trying to take
crypto. It's the same thing as digital. But go ahead.
But this is the key. I tell a lot of people, and I tell a lot of my clients, or whatever the case may be, I tell them, keep you some cash because that's the only way you're going to survive. We're ready to go back into trading.
Yeah.
We're going to go back into trading.
Uh-huh.
And once they turn around and go into digital, and if they did go off the grid and the grid shut down, you ain't going to have no money. You won't have a better way of getting anything. Who going to give away their property? Nobody.
Right.
So you're gonna be able to take that same cash and be able to give it to this other person. Like you said, it circulates and it keeps moving. It's gonna go back to the old way. That's how it's gonna be. So that's why you see a lot of these people, they getting rid of their stock and they saying, oh, you're taking the digital. No, they're getting rid of that stock and they taking it and they transfer it into money and they put that money on the ground.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of them are doing because they know the fact that therefore they try to make people think that cash don't mean anything, the dollar bill don't mean anything, and and all this other stuff. They want you to believe that because guess what? When the time comes, that's why they want everybody to go over to electric cars. They can control it. That's a form of control. They can control all of those things. They can't control this paper. They can't control how much of that you have.
They can control it to the group. I understand your point, but what I'm saying, because it's a consistent going. The dollar, in which we consider the dollar, is a consistent moving promissory note. Okay, and it in and of itself doesn't have the value that it's there. So most people don't understand that and where it evolved from and how it circulates stuff. Because what happens is that each time you pass a dollar, you're making a promise that dollar will be fulfilled. Okay, but it cannot be fulfilled because it's consistently okay. In other words, if you took all that and say, I want to cash it, and this is why banks don't have money available. All right, they can, and how we got there. But people think because you have that paper that they have value, and they don't, because that value that paper doesn't carry the value. All right, it's the promise behind that, but that promise can be broken at any given time. That's how it keeps circulating, and we evolved from that. When we came from England and where it came from, because they had to have something to be separated from the British. What was the British? That too, but the British dollar that was always circulating, the Queen control, the pound. There you go, and which is still in control. Okay, of the most. That's the actually most controlled currency, quote unquote, still on the planet to this day. Okay, and we wonder why. And then of course the euro. Well, that's a whole nother story. Get into the euro dollar. That's too much for breaking down on it. But go ahead, Charles. But just gotta let anybody know that. I can explain it another day.
As they say about Democrats, we get too damn deep in the woods. So let's just make this simple. Okay. You can't carry 10 cows to somebody's house to get milk. So in other words, we had to find something to barter with. It was simpler and easier to move around, which was the paper. The paper in itself, which is why people can say, how do you send money over to so-and-so and you don't? Well, that's because we can print all we want. We just, like the JB just said, it's on a promissory. But the other part we fail to realize is that with digital, the control means that I can stop your stuff on a button like they do Russian. Just press a button and boom, it stopped.
Right.
And you got to also remember that when you do it like Biden was about to do, which I didn't like, he wanted to say if you had more than $600 in the bank, they're supposed to know about it. Oh, hell no. You don't need to know all my finances and have control over everything I do. That's pretty much almost like, I forget the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but where they control every penny. You get so many credits, and if they don't like you, they cut your credits off.
Was it Total Recall? Was it that?
Yeah, Total Recall. They cut your credits off. Now you can't do nothing. That's what they want. They want total control of what you have in your pocket. The other part is our educational system. We don't teach civics because that makes you aware of what they're doing politically and how that system works. So we're not going to teach you civics. Now they don't want you to talk about the bad they've done to black people over all these years because it makes the white kids feel bad.
Well, the Republicans say that's globalist education. That's government education. Right. Public education is government education, and that should be eradicated. Everything should be the states should control the education. Then on top of that, the Republicans are also saying that the churches should control the education as well. That's why they're pushing that prayer goes.
That's only an American. That's being Iran. That's just like us being Iran.
Right. Let me also say this though, Charles. They will always complain about Sharia law. Now, let me give you this light education. Sharia law is of the Muslim faith. Sharia law is of the Islamic faith. Right. Now they're putting their own spin out there for us to say that we all should be Christians, even if we go to school and pledge of the allegiance to that flag. It should be under the Christian situation. And that right there is, I keep telling people, is a dangerous thing when you have one religion that is going to want to take control of a whole entire situation. And that's what the evangelical right was pushing behind Trump. That was their agenda, to push up against abortion and putting prayer back into the school, and also eradicating gay marriage.
Let me put my black hat on. I'm gonna go ahead and be the villain. Nobody's gonna do it. But let me go ahead and be the villain.
Go ahead.
This is Christianity religion, all that is nothing but a big hoax to help people have power.
Patriarchal hoax.
It's, now we're gonna get this. We're gonna put it in true state. Each of these
Okay.
Bibles have been changed up to suit whoever's in charge. King James made his version. The Muslims made their version. Everybody's got their version of what they want to be is the higher power and control. If you sit back and you look at all this, and this is why I know people get mad when I say this, but you pray all day, you can fill truckloads of prayer and it won't do nothing. It's words. This is just like you just doing. You might as well just sit on your hands because you can crap in one and pee in the other and still won't have nothing. You have to get off your butt. Do this. Our children's education has already suffered. We're pushing kids through school just to get them to another grade. They're not learning anything. We just don't want the school system to look bad so we can keep pumping money into the system, which employs people for work. You
Right.
putting all this Christianity and these Bibles and stuff in the school. You're doing just what the Muslims do in Iran. You're basically indoctrinating kids, and then those kids who don't have money have to suffer because they have to win the lottery in order to be in a school that has a substance, the charter schools. Why not take that money you put in all these charter schools, put it into the public system, fix that system? Why do you have to go out and make a special school that you pay for in order for kids to get an education? It makes no sense.
You know the Kids for Tots, whether they're not kids for, but the food bandwagon, what that organization that feeds the kids that don't have the funds to get a regular lunch. That's going over the hill too.
Social Security, Medicaid. They're trying to chop all that. Talking about they're giving people money. You're not giving nobody anything. I contributed to that my whole working life. I put money into that. So how are you gonna say you're giving me something?
You know they ain't gonna have to worry about the fact of any form of reading because a part of their book ban is the Holy Bible. You know that, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
So all that's so I tell people a lot of conversation about a lot of things. If with the factor of those of if that other side did make it into place, it's no purpose of the conversation. Because at the end of every day, you're conversating about something that's pointless at that point because they've already stated in 900 pages a factor of a lot of things that won't be.
Yeah.
So they're basically telling the people, and that's why when I was saying about the factor of the money, when I don't say it about for the others, I say it for us because we're gonna have that's gonna be our means of being able to get the things in which we need, or whatever the case may be. Because therefore, that same promissory, yes, it might be a promissory, but guess what? Its cash is gonna be king when it comes down to us. That's the only way we're going to be able to get the things in which we need. Because guess what? You go to the gas station, you ain't got no digital,
and you ain't gonna have a gold bar.
You gonna have that cash to be able to go get gas.
Right, but see, you also have to also think about too is that, and this goes into a further discussion that we could probably pick up on another show because it's too deep. I know you too deep for us to get into explain it to pull it apart so everybody can get the grasp of it. But you have to think about what will happen, if we go to the one world currency. So that's going to wipe out what we consider the promissory note that we use and it existed. So that one world currency, the conspiracy theorists, the prophetic ones, and all the other type of stuff, everybody's saying that because this man is back in office now that he's going to lead us into the one world currency. Okay, they've already been
the UK have already did that, but Black
the man ain't in office.
Well, I'm just saying,
he's
not in office, true. But if he gets there, that is also one of the things that he in Musk command is trying to line up to do is to have push America to the one world currency. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, what do you do? What do you prepare for? And I know it's a question we can't answer tonight, and let's not try to unpack that. We can look at it as we go on different shows. There's something that might be going on with movement near your microphone because it's picking up. We keep hearing it back. Something that may be in your.
But for those people,
so let me finish.
I want to say this too before you go any further. But for those people who said that sit out the vote, and I heard you say something to that, Charles. But those people are gonna have to understand that them sitting out was the last that they will ever have to vote. When and if he gets in there, that's the last time they will ever have to set out another election. And I want to tell people who want to believe that there will be another election, there won't be another election.
Right.
Because he had already told people that this is going to happen. Right. ever have to be another election that you'll have to vote, because we're going to keep this thing going for as long as possible.
Right.
So, you know, this is going to be a new type of situation for this country.
Right.
Hey, I'm just saying. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Well, I mean, you got to take that,
I'm
that
sorry.
moved it around.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay. So, but back to this currency conversation. You know what? Well, this will be part of our conversation for next week's show. You know,
Yeah.
for sure. We'll dig in that a little bit more and explain it. You know, and why Prince William and King, whatever his name is, still owns 2/3 of the world. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right. You know, and most people don't really understand that, where how it's all put together. But just addressing where we are, a lot of different comments are coming in, you know, different places tonight. All right, so we are moving into a place where your individual faith becomes your religion. Okay, not a denomination, not a way you go to worship. It becomes down to that. Understand, religion. The word religion means it's something I do religiously. Okay, not a denominational practice. Okay, we've got people that, you know, smoke religiously. That becomes their religion. Okay, we've got people that, you know, like to wear multiple different colored glasses and they pay homage to that. You know, it's their religion because it's a practice. You work out, it's a religion. Okay, so when the word comes religion, all right, we've got to understand that narrative has got to change. All right, my thing that I've said, you know, Dylan and I were talking about, that if you are a believer in Christ or in God or however you want to do that, what you as an individual need to do is take responsibility for your individual belief factor in God or in your creator. Okay. And what we are being forced from is because people are looking at things from a different platform and not dealing with it from an assembly in a house or wherever you decide to go, you know, to pay that homage. You know, it's not the norm. Okay. And it's not the norm. And we cannot force people to make that the norm because it's not where we are. It's not where we are. And we cannot go back to being where we are in that aspect. People want freedom of choice. All right. So if you're wanting to side with quote unquote the evangelical religious community, then you are not for the freedom of choice. You will push prayer in schools. Individual prayer understanding of who we are does not change the narrative of what needs to be done in a school system. It cannot. You cannot tell a group of kids that come from different backgrounds, okay, that their life has to be this way. They've got to understand that for themselves. I wanted to address that part. So it can be a moment of silence. It can be, you know, all of these other types of things to center them place in where they're being taught. We cannot continue to tell people the way they have to think. All right. But you know what I'm saying? With the evangelical community, this is what you want to do. And it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong, and more people are pushing against it. But I want to bring that point up.
But but to be honest with you, with the evangelical right, that sounds too progressive,
right,
too globalist,
right,
and too humanist.
I agree.
Well,
what I'm saying,
and they're fighting against that narrative.
Yep.
And like I'm saying, with Trump, that's the goal. The goal is to push against that narrative because what they're claiming is that it's in that what you're speaking of has been indoctrinating. It's been pulling children away from the church, and it has made them more of an atheist than they are of a Christian.
Right.
And it has confused their minds sexually. This is what
expound on that, please.
Because what the rhetoric that the Republicans are spitting out right now is that government public schooling has messed up a whole generation of children, and that the religious aspect has to come back to the schools. It has to come back to the fact of state and family. And I'm telling you, like they're pushing this agenda hard to the point that even Trump said this on Fox News, that he is going to pull money away from any school district that teaches any form of education of slavery, of sex ed, that brings about trans education, or any type of education that goes against the grain of the American of anything that makes America not great again. He wants regular arithmetic, regular reading, regular whatever, but it cannot be polluted with any type of progressive narratives.
Okay.
So
So
basically,
let me address one of our comments. Okay. All right. All right. Let me kind of rephrase how I'm going to say this. All right.
Oh Lord.
We are not just telling anybody not to believe. Every person on this show believes in God. Okay. The truth behind the truth is in a narrative of what we came up with for our directional piece of leading people to their individual understanding of who God is. We have never have deterred anybody from that. We will never do that. All right. Every person on the show that has been and is connected to the show has their own individual. Charles has his understanding. Darnell has his understanding. Dylan has his understanding. I have my understanding. Okay. That is not
religion is what we're dead against.
and it is not that. So hear what we're saying. We're saying that the freedom of religion is there for individuals to make their own choice. Okay. We will not promote a religious agenda.
Go ahead, Darnell.
Okay, we're not going to do that. Hold on, let me finish up. We are not going to do that. And we're not going to promote, okay, a certain denominational understanding that as an individual you may have. Okay, that's not what it's about. And the problem why we have this discussion is because denominationalism overrides faith in God. Period.
Everybody has a different belief and a personal relationship with him, and it's not all the same. We don't all have to be the same. And Trump is a prime example of why a lot of people you lose faith in Christianity. You take a man who's a sex offender. He's multiple marriages. He's lusted over his own daughter. He's stolen from people. He's been bigoted toward people in a different way. And you want to tell me that the church backs that type of guy? This is what makes people not want to be a part of religion.
Pastors that way, though,
True,
Charles.
true.
Charles,
And
they
that too. You got
pastors
pastors sleeping with
that way.
congregation and having
But
babies.
this is why I'm saying, as Americans, we have conditioned ourselves in certain part of the country to believe in this rhetoric. That's why we will have an autocrat in the White House.
Oh my God! Please, please say that again.
We will
please.
have an autocrat. We will have autocracy because there is an agenda that needs to be pushed. There is an agenda that everybody should believe in what I believe in at all costs. The Republicans are saying this. Whatever Trump say, we must do. If he says jump 5 feet, we all must jump 5 feet.
Say that again.
That is the mindset
Say that
right
again,
now.
please. You preach it right
Well,
now.
hey, that is the
Okay, you're telling the
mindset
truth
of,
now, right
of an autocratic state.
Yes.
And most situations within that type of government, religion does play a part.
Right. Religion, not faith in God, but religion.
Yeah, religion
Okay.
plays a part.
Please understand, and I'm going to say it one more time. Please, then Darnell, you can say it, but please, it is not what you are hearing. You're hearing through religion. Okay, you're hearing through religion. You're hearing through commercial. Hear by the Spirit and what the Spirit is saying to the church at this day and time. All right, it is not the God of the past. It is the God of now and in the future. God's word moves forward, and it does not leave you stuck in one position. And if you are stuck in one position, then you need to check your belief system and stop challenging people to moving forward. We move a forward-moving God, not a stagnant God. And if your God is stagnant, then it's a problem with you. Okay, period. At the end of the day, you don't have to like what I'm saying, or you don't. Love you still, but the truth behind the truth is what I just said. Darnell, go right ahead.
Listen, all I gotta say is to the people is make sure your affairs is in order.
Okay.
Put your affairs in order. Dot every I, cross every T, no matter who's in. I feel like this. I've always been a person where I didn't care who was in office. I didn't care if it was a dog in office or whatever it case to be. I was going to make sure that every affair, all my affairs was in order. I was going to make sure that, therefore, I was doing what I needed to do, because at the end of every day, it's like was stated some weeks ago. We can't look for what the government or the president or whomever going to do for us. We have to do what we got to do for ourselves.
That's right.
If you sit back waiting on them, you're gonna be waiting a lifetime or whatever. Of course, it's gonna be a lot of changes with whomever's in office. You're gonna have changes that you like, changes that you don't like. That's it. That's all, or whatever the case would be. The only thing that matters is therefore what you do in your life and how it affects you. That's it.
Brother, say that one more time. Can you say that one more time for the people in the back row?
The
You
only
just
thing
preach
that matters
to
is
the
what you do in your life and how it affects you. That's it. Because if you don't get up and go out and do anything to make any change in your life, it's never going to change. You're going to always, and I think what the problem is this. A lot of people are sitting back looking and wanting someone to be able to fault for their downfalls and their shortcomings.
It's
Quick
called
fixes.
lack of responsibility.
Yep, quick fixes. Yep.
It's not owning
That's
up to
it.
your
But
responsibility.
that's history repeating itself.
And if you follow my words, I did not say no God. I said I think religious is a scam. There is higher power. But religion in itself, if you got, and I hate to say this because people get mad when I say this, but I've been studying the history of religion. Shit, I'm 63 now. Since I was 19, I've been reading, researching, going through it. And that's why I'm not a part of any religious cult, because that's basically all that ends up being is a group of people. It's like a basketball team. We all got our philosophy, we all got a joint, but we can't force it on nobody else. God is within the individual. You pick how you contribute to it, how you praise it, how you develop it, but you don't push it on no one else. It is you. And they got mad at Oprah when she said everybody's God. No, Oprah, you ain't God. No, God is within the individual, and you find your way in praising it and fulfilling that respect of your life. But there's no way in hell you can say that only one religion rules everybody. It just doesn't happen.
But it's so dangerous to fall into that because there, like I said, you had situations like the Jim Jones sect. You have all of this stuff that has happened because people have taken religion to a whole nother level, and because of it, people have died because they didn't have the critical thinking skills to say, "Wait a minute, hold up, something ain't clicking." That's what's going on right now within the religious world as well as politics, because you have a lot of Americans who have heard this man say the most violent stuff, and not one person has said to themselves, "Wait a minute, this ain't clicking." But then on top of that, they go still behind their beliefs, their moral compass, and still vote for a man that they think is going to help them in their pocketbooks. And the saddest thing about this situation is, how can a man who is set on a golden toilet, he has a golden toilet in his bathroom, what makes you think that this man is going to step down from that to help you? The man has never paid any of his vendors. He never cared to pay any of his vendors. And then he hires illegal immigrants for his golf course. See, that's the thing that people don't never.
Married one. What do you mean?
Critical thinking is, why are you voting, like you said, Charles, for a man who believes in grabbing women by the feet? Right. And you are a religious woman on top of that, and you talk, and they speak a good game about fornication. That is, God is against adultery, against fornication. This man has did every damn thing underneath the sun. Right. And you, because of the agenda that you're trying to push to oppress certain people within this country, you went against your religious beliefs, and you have elected the Antichrist. Truth behind the truth. Oh, okay. The Antichrist is in our White House. The ones that y'all keep preaching, no, he's coming. The ones that y'all keep preaching to us about the Antichrist, he has now appeared.
Well, not the Antichrist.
He is the Antichrist. No. I'm gonna take it there. Well, he is the Antichrist.
Well, now he could be a form of.
He
is. He could be a form of.
No, he is.
Well,
okay.
Well, he could be whatever.
Say it with your chest, darling. Say it with your chest.
I was saying, bring it 10 freaking toes. He is the Antichrist, whether you want to believe it or not. I see evil in all of that stuff. I see evil, and I see evil.
Whatever he chooses to be.
Hold on.
Hitler was one, and now we got a new one, 2.0. Let's keep it moving.
Go ahead.
Like I said, he could be whatever he chooses to be, long as he don't make it in that White House. That's it.
There you go.
You better have a special bullet.
I mean, there's a lot that there's a fact that again, that point. Now you open up a whole other thing.
I don't give a damn. He is the Antichrist. Well, yeah, I will call him what I will call him in the name of the blood of this. I will say what I see evil in that man when he comes on the cover. I see evil in his cohorts. Angela Stanton, she is a zealot.
Okay.
Stephen
You better
Miller.
preach right here. Go ahead.
Stephen Miller is a zealot.
Okay.
All
Wait
of these.
a minute. You need to lose yourself on camera. Okay,
Steve
get ready.
Bannon. Look
Uh-huh.
at these people. Look in their
Yeah,
eyes.
I agree.
Look in their eyes when they
You
get
better
on that
preach,
television and they start speaking that hatred. There is nothing there. There is nothing there.
Okay, you better preach.
Look in their eyes when they talk to you about the stuff that Trump is going to do. There is nothing there. There is no human feeling in those eyes.
Right.
When you can lie to the American people and
Right.
tell me
That's true.
that these people, we should have mass deportation, we should cut your education, we should cut your Medicaid.
Okay.
Look in their eyes.
Man,
There ain't nothing there.
You
There ain't
preaching.
nothing there.
And you
There
just,
ain't
and
nothing
guess
there.
what? Guess what you just preached? You ain't preached no religion. You broke the truth behind the truth. Okay.
Like Mom said, not yet. Trump is only the disciple of Satan. But you know what, Mom? He is the Antichrist. You need to start understanding what y'all are looking at.
Right. Well,
That
yeah,
man has
right.
nothing there.
Right.
There is nothing behind those eyes.
Right.
Look
Well,
at
no, you know, honestly,
there is nothing
you
there.
hey,
There's
I,
nothing there.
I am, you know, and
There is nothing there.
you unpack so much in that needs to be dissected a little bit. Not for it to say you said anything wrong, but you didn't. You told the truth behind the truth. But my last point, we got another finance. We started a little later, and that was a lot right there, you know. But it was good. And thank you for bringing that to the truth behind the truth.
I
Because
got
that's
another
what it
truth,
is.
but keep going.
Okay, now I'll let you bring it up. My one point I do want to address, because we got a lot of different comments coming tonight. And guys, thank you for chiming in tonight. And we can't get them all up because it's kind of quick getting moving on, but just addressing what I'm saying. And I will say it one more time. And I want to be very clear. Okay, what I'm saying. Religion is the downfall of belief. Okay, period. All right, I explained what religion is. The word religion. Study the word religion and stop making it a religion. Okay, study the word. Understand what it says, what it means, what it's evolved to. Okay, then you'll understand where I'm going with this. All right, at the end of the day, religion is simply a practice what you choose to get involved in, and you do it religiously. All right, so if your religion is worshiping the same God that we're all talking about right here, great. Okay, if your religion is doing it a little different than what we talk about right here, great. If you don't do it at all right now in your life, great. Okay, it's not up to us or anybody else to say that you're at fault, because you're on your journey to understand what you need to do for the embetterment of your life. And he is the only one can speak to you and let you know that. All right, at any given point. So religion, yes, it is a damnable thing when it controls people's lives. Okay, it can be a great thing if it's a celebratory thing and you bring a celebration to your life first and then to somebody else's. Okay, you brought up Jim Jones. That was a religious practice that carried people from one point to the next. All right, and most of you guys know the Jim Jones story. All right, but I say, what did I say about Trump now? It's the Jim Jones and repeat. All right, because you got people walking around Zion, but I can't get there because it's too deep. Anyway, so let me address to that point. You have something you want to say? Go ahead. Bring that point.
Stop looking at the skies for Jesus.
Oh,
Because he has already been there. He's here. He's here.
Woo! You're having church in here tonight.
Stop.
Darnell, you should be running around your house.
Stop looking at the
Listen,
skies.
I'm gonna be running out here. I gotta go to work.
I know this for a fact. He has been here plenty of times. He has been here plenty of times, and he has told y'all.
Stop looking up, but look around.
No, he's been here.
Baby,
I say this every day. People love to look out the window, but they never look in the mirror. That's just how life is.
man.
He's here.
Oh my
He's
God.
here. And he's not where you think he ought to be. And I'm letting y'all know he has never been where you thought. Because even in the Bible, they were looking at the sky. And he came through what? Mary and Joseph in a barn.
And then he still recognize.
And he came through.
Right among them.
He
Didn't
came
recognize.
through in
Woo,
a donkey. He came
Woo.
on a donkey.
Woo, didn't recognize him.
Didn't recognize
Woo.
him. He's here. He's been here. I don't
Wow.
know what they
Oh
say.
man, that was good.
Look at the sky. Truth behind the truth. Stop
Hey,
looking
Charles,
at
I
the
went
sky.
back. I feel like I had church at home today.
Stop looking at the sky.
Love it. The truth behind the truth. Okay. Hey, you can like it or not like it. Okay. But I tell you, if you listen to it and repeat it, you'll find liberty in what we're saying. We love everybody out here. You know, we love every perspective. And thank you so much for the comments, because you know what? It sparked another level for us to dig in a little bit deeper so we can make sure that we're still always providing you clarity. You don't have to agree with the truth. It's up to you. You know what I mean? I said, you can have your perspective, you know, but hey, I ain't gonna love you no less because you may disagree with me. But I tell you, if you do the research and research it from an open canon, which the scriptures are supposed to be for you at all times, then you'll understand where we're coming from about it, and not reading through religion. You read through the truth that the Spirit brings to you, and don't read it through religion. I tell you, you'll find the truth behind the truth in the scriptures for your life as an individual. Each one of y'all can take a quick rap, and then we'll go to Charles. Go ahead and do the point, and we're gonna wrap it up.
Listen to understand, not to respond. That's all I can say.
Okay, absolutely, Darnell.
Pay your fucking attention. That's all I can say. Pay attention. Pay attention to every aspect of everything in life. Yourself, the people around you, the things around you. Gain an understanding before you actually act and speak upon it.
Yep.
At this moment.
Okay, go ahead.
There was Ethan,
Uh-huh.
there was X, there was King, there was Trayvon Martin, and there was Emmett Till. And what did they all come to do? They all came to die. If you don't understand what's at stake and then on top of that, the messages have all been the same: love and peace. If these people were preaching love and peace, what do you think Jesus was preaching? And I'm saying this to be I'm saying this to be not funny, but this is the truth. Because people are so wanting to see Jesus come from out of the clouds.
Wow,
but he's been here trying to tell us through many versions of people, and we still haven't gotten the message yet. And we're never going to get the message because we're looking for somebody like Trump. We're looking for somebody like Trump to save us. And I'm sorry, capitalistic.
They looking for somebody. Don't
yeah, we ain't, but they are.
They are.
Everybody wants a savior.
They are.
Wow. Don't get on camera. You need to be on camera. You're good. Wow. This has been a night. Okay, and I would encourage you guys to go back and after it and replay it, hear it again, because there's truth and liberty for your life, for your soul, for everything right here, and for your mind. But you can't free your mind until you free your soul. All right. So some of you think your soul is free. Okay. All right, go right ahead. I can't knock you for it. You have your own belief systems, then you have your belief systems, okay? If you want to believe in religious practices, go right ahead. All right, but you know what? For me, in this sector, we are on the same page, and we want just to help you see something a little bit different than you all have been seeing. Hey, the challenges are great, but I know what I know. Okay, he knows what he knows. Charles knows what he knows. Darnell knows exactly what they know. And we have made a place in our life, all right, that we have that relationship, all right, and it's all about relationship. My dear cousin was watching tonight. I love how she says on her show on Word Up, she says it's always a good time for realignment. I said, wow, always a good time for realignment. Every time that your feet hit the floor in the moment, it's a time of realignment, because what you did yesterday, you can't carry it into today. And the problem is that we keep trying to carry yesterday in today. Okay, stop trying to carry yesterday and yesterday practices, yesterday understandings, because you have been blessed with a new day. You should be making steps today. If let's quote Jesus real quick. Tomorrow, I'm sorry, you have today, but then let tomorrow take care of itself. I'm just kind of paraphrasing what was there. So you only have today. Deal with what's going on within your life today, and know that you've had the grace afforded to you to step into that particular. Don't worry about tomorrow. Okay, deal with what you got to deal with today, and I promise you, 9 times out of 10, something is coming at you to change you. All right. Last point I'm gonna say at the bottom of the screen. I kept putting this up, and it's a question. You guys can tune in next week if you want to. But can humanity, all right, prevent its own demise? All right. Can you answer that? Okay, you don't. No, that's not that. We'd like to hear from you on that. Can humanity prevent its own demise? Because see, we will stay in the same road of demise if we keep dividing our thoughts over religious practices. Okay, humanity binds together of one truth. Okay, and that truth is the human spirit, which we all come from. Okay, now you may have an understanding where you come from, and okay, that's cool. All right, but you can't knock anybody else. But until we get to the place of that we understand and recognize that you are spirit and I am spirit. Okay, you are spirit and I am spirit. Okay, then we can move toward not seeing our demise. But that's a whole other conversation. I can get into that. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. There's been a lot of great lessons. There's been a lot that has been impacted tonight, and I know it was a lot we brought up, you guys, but it is so important to the state of where we are in this country right now. But in the fact of where people sit in their own individual lives, you can't force them. All you can do is possibly educate them. All right, thanks for tuning in. Great night. Great night. Charles, great night. And y'all see what? JB, an excellent night. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Hey, we'll be right back here time again next week, same time, same place. Get it, mark it on your calendar so you'll be right there with us. Thank you for tuning in to what? The truth behind the truth. Y'all can keep talking until I get this goodbye done. All right, I ain't got the goodbye done right there. So we'll say peace out. We'll say all that good stuff. You don't see us no more.